Hi everyone, and welcome to this second presentation about academic paragraph patterns that belongs with Module 2. So here I'm specifically going to talk about the compare and contrast paragraph as well as the other patterns of top level structure paragraphs that are mentioned in Module 2. So if we remember from the previous discussion, the academic paragraph in whatever formal pattern it follows has three main parts: the say it or topic sentence, the prove it or supporting information sentences, and the clinch it or concluding sentence. So your compare and contrast paragraph will be no different. It still needs to follow that same basic pattern. And as we talked about in the previous video also, these are what we call the top level structures or top level patterns of academic paragraph. So we talked specifically about the thesis illustration paragraph, and then there's also what's known as the time order paragraph, the cause and effect paragraph, the compare and contrast, and the problem and solution. So they all follow that basic academic paragraph structure, but they vary in their purpose and the reason for writing them in terms of the meaning that you're wanting to get across. So you'll choose a particular pattern or particular structure because you have a particular purpose or goal in mind. So with the compare and contrast paragraph, on page 90 of the study guide, it really clearly states that the purpose of this paragraph is to show how two things are both similar and different. So what do they have in common, and then in what way are they unlike each other? And when you're writing your paragraph, you might like to consider using some cohesive ties to bring some coherence to your piece of writing. On page 96 there's a list of specific cohesive ties that can be used in a compare and contrast paragraph. So I'd really encourage you to check back there as you're working through this part of your first assignment. And the other thing is to look carefully at the Venn diagram note-making pattern on page 90 of the study guide and do something very similar as you're preparing your paragraph for activity 210. And on Moodle I've put a link in this week where you can actually download or print out a blank Venn diagram note-making template. So do that if you want to. So the other academic paragraph patterns I'm not going to talk about in detail here, but they are there is information provided to you in a great amount of detail in the study guide with activities to work through. So the time order paragraph is dealt with on page 84. And there's a good example there. The cause and effect paragraph is dealt with on pages 85 through to 89 of the study guide, and there's some activities for you to complete there to make sure you understand how it works. And very similar is the problem solution paragraph, which in the study guide appears from pages 93 to 95. So the activities that are in the study guide will help you understand each of those patterns, and we will be returning to them as the course continues. But for the moment, your main aim for this week is to complete activity 2-10 because it's part of your first assignment and it asks specifically for a compare and contrast paragraph. So you need to now follow the steps for activity 210 really carefully. They start on page 91 of the study guide, and on Moodle, once you've finished activity 210 and you've got a paragraph that you've written, you need to check and read the instructions on how to submit assignment 1, because as I've mentioned earlier, that's an electronic submission for your assignment, so you need to make sure you know exactly what you're doing there. So if you have any questions, distance students in particular, let me know. Internal students, talk to your campus lecturers, and I wish you all the best with getting this assignment finished. Okay.